All right, welcome to episode 5 of Watch Me Build a $1 million business. I just want to say, first off, I did not feel like shooting content today or getting any work done, but that's kind of part of the game is when you don't have the motivation, you call in the discipline. So we're going to go ahead and just go for it. Let's get the camera going here. The other thing is I'm using Loom today. I was having an interesting discussion with someone earlier who was talking about going and taking some courses to learn some things. And I was pushing back a little bit because, a lot of times people will do work that's busy, that they can feel good about, but it doesn't actually translate into anything meaningful. Example for what I'm doing here is I don't know how to do YouTube. I've never done YouTube myself. I've worked with plenty of clients that have done YouTube, so I kind of get it a little bit, but I've never done it myself. And I could have waited to begin filming. Let's get this up here. Let's get this over here. I could have waited to begin filming to feel comfortable and confident, but a lot of times, and this is actually one of the principles, taking imperfect action, is better to just start and to go, and you can always later on figure out the best way to go about doing things. So I will eventually learn how to do it properly, but right now it's not the most important thing. The most important thing is to make progress on developing the product. And even you'll notice my camera keeps cutting out because this laptop's kind of on its last leg. I did buy a new one, but it's not fully set up, and I've got a setup that I'm going to be building when I get home. I'm still traveling. But again, I waited until I knew I was committed to actually doing this before I started investing into the things to help me optimize. So a lot of times people, they want to feel good and they want to optimize, but it's like they're not even starting. And you get more from the feedback of actually starting. You know if you like it, you know what you don't like about it, you get more clarity. So that's what we're doing today, is we're just going for it, and we're exercising our grit and our discipline. So let's jump real quick into the summit guide. I'm not going to go through the whole thing like I have. If you want to look at this, you can view some previous videos where I kind of walk through this a bit more. But the big thing right here is we are trying to get 200 to 338 monthly members. The reason why the numbers range is because I haven't landed on pricing yet. But depending on the pricing will get me to 20K. So what must be true to get that? We need to launch this. We need to launch the Growth Hub, or the community, essentially, MVP. I'm in the process. Let's do this in process. And we're down here to completing the actual course itself. The tool, I'm going to do a lot of this probably offline. It's just busy work that's not really worth paying attention to. This is like, I'm actually recording the modules for each section, and in the last video I built the outline. So now I'm going to go through and kind of put the content into the outline and start to finish framing things. If you watched the last episode, I mentioned first principles, and so I used so first I kind of gathered all the puzzle pieces, if you will. I just brain dumped everything, and then I started organizing it in a way that made sense. And now I'm going to start detailing it, and that's kind of a first principles way of approaching things, where you start with the bigger picture, and then you break it down into smaller pieces, and you continue to break it down into smaller and smaller pieces. And by the time this is done, I'll have everything that I need to have. I'm actually going to turn this camera off. It's kind of distracting me with the camera freezing every 5 seconds. But yes, so you break it down into smaller and smaller pieces. So I have Module 1, which is the Uncommon Growth Journey. Modules 2 through 7, which is... well, here, let's do this. Module 1 is the journey. That's really going to be casting vision for the big picture, really defining and giving clarity to the current paradigm that most people operate under, the way that they think, the way that they approach growth. And then from there, I'm going to poke holes in that and show why it's not serving them, why it's actually holding them back. And then turn around and give them so I'm taking the mental construct that they have, I'm going to demolish it so that what they're left with is a new, like, empty, like, how do I want to say this? 1 second, I need to close this door. Okay, so I'm going to demolish the current paradigm way of thinking for approaching growth, and then from there, that gives me the opportunity to present a new way of thinking, and I'll construct something in place of that. So in my mind, the way I visualize this is, imagine a building, and it's an old, broken down building. It's needs to be condemned. It's not very functional. It's probably pretty dangerous. So we're going to go ahead and create the awareness of that, demolish that, so that all that's left is the concrete slab, the foundation, and then from there we can build a new building on top of it. Something that's new, something that's useful, something that's functional. So let's go ahead and jump in. I have already... most of the content already exists, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab all the pieces of it that exist in numerous places. So that's the other downside right now, is that everything's scattered. So this will be the first time I actually put it together, I think, in a way that hopefully will make sense to people. So do I want to start with the outcome? What do I start with here? Yeah, I think we need to first do that. So let's define the problem that we're facing. Is how do we grow? And common growth is introduce the villain, which is common growth. I want to give stats around business success. Let's just see what this does. I thought it was higher than that, actually. Okay, we'll go with that one. I like that one. %. Okay, so 70% of businesses fail in the first decade. That is a really sad statistic. You don't want to... Why? Because they're all kind of doing the same things. So in my, 12 years of, it's probably faster, there we go. In my 12 years of doing this, marketing, etc., I have noticed 4 different growth curves that are unfortunately very common. When clients come to me, they're usually experiencing one of these 4. So sluggish growth, they're seeing some levels of success with their acquisition efforts, but it's too slow, and they know that there's more that they can be doing. So what that looks like is this, slow. We're going to call it sluggish. Then there is the roller coaster growth, which is my least favorite, and the most challenging to get people off of. That's where the business has many ups and downs. It's usually driven by either seasonal efforts or promotions, but there's no real consistency over time. And it's the consistency that you need in order to actually make predictable progress. So the whole point is we want to make a proven, predictable, profitable, and high-performing business that you can, and once you have that as a system, you can actually budget for growth. You can set a growth target for what you want it to be, and you can back into what would have to be true to get there. So a lot of what we're doing is, you'll notice I have proof here, then I'm gonna, which is a lot of getting things built and launched, getting it out, getting it validated. Then I'm going to try to get to predictability. Then I'm going to try to get to profitability. Then I'm going to scale. We'll talk about that a bit later. Static growth, which we now call flat growth. That's where you've reached a ceiling on your acquisition efforts. But you're losing customers as quickly as you're gaining them, and your business has become stagnant. So you're just not you've hit a ceiling. You're not really growing, but you're not really dying either. It's really a maintenance mode situation. And then negative growth. You've had something that's worked before in the past, but you've hit a ceiling. Your ability to keep up with your churn is falling behind, and you've started seeing a decline in results. Or what you were doing is no longer performing the way it was, and you're unable to overcome and adapt to the changes in marketing and sales. So this could be anything from like for example, we work with a fundraising business, and where they supply goods at wholesale pricing to people that want to run fundraisers. So whether it's a little league team trying to get jerseys, or the church trying to build something, you name it. They were hit by 2 big changes in the marketplace. One was changes in SEO. It was a heavily SEO-driven business, search engine optimization. So all of their acquisition came from people essentially Googling fundraising ideas. And the other one was COVID. COVID really knocked the fundraising industry down. People weren't, schools and sports teams and, nonprofits and churches are probably the big ones that take advantage of fundraisers. And this is, and we're talking like, going door to door and selling popcorn or cookies or, whatever, to candles to friends and family in order to get money to fund whatever it is that they're trying to fund. So they got hit by both the SEO changes, and then they also got hit by just the change in the marketplace and now experiencing negative growth. So that's a common thing that can happen, is especially in what we call the one-trick pony businesses, where they're not very diversified in their growth efforts. So, okay, let's talk about dysfunctions. I'm going to come back to this one until I do the principles, because I'm not going to worry about framing everything here. I'm just going to put the content down. When I do the slides, I'll do the framing. I was about to go and be like, okay, I need to frame this a bit more, but it's fine. Don't overthink it. Again, we're doing first principles. It's best just to get, and we're taking imperfect action. It's best to just get all the content out and get it on paper. And then when I sit down and do the slides, I can actually add any context that I need to add. Okay, so then we're going to talk about the experience that occurs as a result. We have analysis paralysis. These are the internal experiences. I see this one very often. Time pressure, which is probably one of my least favorite ones. And not only have I seen these with other people, like clients and other business owners that I work with and coach, but I have seen it in myself. Cash flow issues, that's an awful one. There's nothing like being worried about whether or not you're going to be open next week or you can make payroll. A lot of times other problems arise. Like you don't just usually have a single problem, and that means that a lot of times people are not going to stick around. A big one for entrepreneurs, shiny object syndrome. Burnout. Oh man, it's giving me anxiety going through all of these because I've been through all of them before. Impacted personal life, yep. Another one I would say is work for work's sake. You feel overwhelmed and stuck. Not knowing what you should be doing. Well, not necessarily. So sometimes stuck not knowing what you should be doing, and therefore find work that is not important to satisfy your time and feel like you accomplished something, but in reality you just made yourself busy to feel good and aren't moving anything forward. This was the example I gave at the beginning of this video. Let's see, can I think of any other ones? Okay, I pulled up just a brain dump that I did a long time ago for like business owner types that I've seen before. I don't know if I'll use these or not. They're romantic, they have a big idea that they're obsessed over, maybe even more than one, but they aren't grounded. These people romanticize their idea instead of running the business. They're in love with it, and they think everyone else will be too. I have definitely seen that. Those are the people that think that they launch a business and they're going to make $300 million in their first year. They've committed so much to their idea, they don't know how to build a business around it. They don't even know if people want it because they assume everyone's going to love it as much as they do. It's the cone-headed baby, which is just referring to how every baby that's born has a cone-shaped head and it's ugly and looks like an alien, but if it's yours, you love it, and it's beautiful. They set really lofty goals. They aim for Pluto, and they don't even have a rocket ship. They may want to be known for their achievements as well. The novice. So this is just, I guess if I were to... This is unrealistic expectations. Excuse me. It's very professional. I don't have COVID. Unrealistic expectations. They think everyone is going to love, understand, and want what they are selling. They aren't paying attention to what the market actually wants. The novice. On the other side of the spectrum, you have the people that get paralyzed by the sheer act of starting a business. They hide behind things they think they're supposed to do. They do this because they're scared and lack the confidence and experience, so they operate like an actor. They get advice from friends and relatives. They probably have a good idea and maybe have even heard from friends and family they should start a business. They may have even proven out their idea because they started the business because it caught on. These people are limited by a lack of vision and sort of get pulled into running a business. They're often completely afraid to spend money or spend it on the wrong things. This can make them prone to doing all the work themselves, especially if they're immature as a business leader. Probably have a good idea. I really actually like working with these type of people because they're usually onto something, but it's literally just some mindset. They're just a mindset shift away from being successful and some experience. Like if they would just take a few risks. I don't know. I think we're just adding more fluff by adding more there. I think a lot of what's there is already covered. The innovator. These people love to play with their idea. They use their business as a means to fund their tinkering. They could be playing with different ideas, different product ideas, offering different services. They're never satisfied with work for more than a short period of time. They get bored easily. They need constant change and stimulation. These people are driven by money as a tool to push their ideas forward. They sometimes struggle with focus because they have so many competing ideas. They're good at starting but bad at finishing. I definitely have a tendency to struggle with this. This one I relate to the most so far. The artists, these people are similar to the innovator in that they are creative and that they use business as a means to express themselves. For them, they want their work to feel like play. Yeah, they don't like feeling like it's work. If it's not a source of inspiration, then it's not worth pursuing. This person's not really driven by accumulating money, but they enjoy the freedom that it can create. Yeah, they're maybe not serious, but I don't know. We can cover this one as like loss of passion, honestly. The mundane tasks of running a business start to take over and pull the joy and pleasure out of them, making it feel like a job and distracting them from their core purpose. Let's not do a run on here. This can distract them from their core purpose and make them feel like they are off track from why they started the business to begin with. That's an unfortunate one. The mountain climber. This person is driven by a clear vision and is able to construct a plan to get there. They're able to break their big dreams into smaller, more attainable milestones. They're relentless at moving forward. Everything is about the pursuit of the goal, and if they determine that they cannot reach their goal, they will abandon the business in favor of another idea that they believe they can accomplish. These people don't like wasting time or money. These are like high achievers. I don't think... Honestly, I feel like this is probably closer to how you should be if you want to have an uncommon growth business. So I don't know that the only like downside thing here is that like they just will continue to abandon stuff when it gets hard. But I think that's kind of covered. The utilitarian, for this person, the business is a means to an end. They aren't looking to get big. They may go into business for themselves, by themselves, owning what is essentially a steady paycheck that pays the bills. They aren't driven by lofty goals, but rather security. While other types have a bar they're trying to reach, this type has a floor they won't go below. They aren't interested in expanding until they get bored or burned out enough that they want to create more personal time and freedom. They are routine, disciplined people. I think I just don't think that person is really the best person for. I mean, you totally could run uncommon growth with that, but chances are it's not going to be in alignment with what you're wanting to do. So I'm probably not going to include anything from this person, but I am starting to wonder if I should include this as a... Let's go ahead and come to the journal. That was like Wednesday. This is today. Create a core principles cheat sheet. This is an idea. This is a idea. Consider adding in the entrepreneur type assessment into the course to help people overcome their weaknesses and lean into their strengths. I think this would be super helpful for some people, but we'll see. The capitalist. These are your achievers. They have no emotional attachment to the business. They have an emotional attachment to money. It's how they keep score. These people have their hands in many pots and treat businesses like investments. They will double down on winners and dump losers. They will take big calculated risks with their investments from either a time or money perspective. These people don't understand no. They are no nonsense. After all, they are driven by numbers. Those people are likely to probably be successful because they are relentless, and they take the approach that like book publishers take. So book publishers, for example, like big book publishers, they'll bet on 100 authors, and they invest very little beyond. So I don't know if you know about like how books are published, but if you're going to go and not self-publish and go through a publishing company, they'll help you to get your book launched and created, but after that, they don't really help you with the promotion of it. They don't really help it become a success. Instead, they help 100 other authors write a book as well, and they just, knowing that, 2 to 3 or 4 of those are going to become really good sellers naturally because either the content's there and it's what people are looking for, or they have an audience built in, they have a name built in, that sort of thing. So these people take the same approach. They take like a shotgun approach, and then they see what sticks, and then that's where they kind of invest their energy and their time and their money. It's one way of approaching things, and it's not a bad way, but this is a less common person that I have seen come across my desk, at least. The opportunists, these people are the surfers of the business world. Oh, yes. They go after what's hot or trendy, and they make a business out of it. They want to know what's working. They don't care what it is. These people are going to take risks with their time and money because their biggest fear is fear of missing out. They don't want a great opportunity to pass them by and that they could have capitalized on. Motivations can be driven by a desired lifestyle and financial security. They spend their free time browsing the internet for new ideas to jump on. So this is like when fidget spinners came out, like there was tons of people were jumping on that bandwagon. When COVID hit, I knew somebody that was connected in the PPE world, and they were able to source tons of masks and make a nice profit off of flipping masks to hospitals. Say what you want about it. It was a smart business idea, but it's really not a business. It was just kind of an opportunity that was a short window, and they were uniquely positioned to take advantage of it, and they did. But a lot of times these people are constantly jumping from, lily pad to lily pad instead of building something that's long-term and sustainable. So these people would not be good. So I guess what I am realizing is the people that can use the most help would be the romantic, the novice, the innovator, the artist, and then probably these 4, actually the mountain climber too, but these 4 are probably not interested in achieving uncommon growth, which is fine. You don't have to be. Everyone can do things the way they want. So this kind of covers what you'll experience, and this will be as a result of the dysfunctions, which I've never clearly mapped out, and they're going to be kind of the reverse of the principles. And they'll probably also come from some of the things that I put. Actually, this is a mindset dysfunction, not a experience. I mean, technically all of these are mindset dysfunctions, but these are effects, usually not causes. This one is for sure a cause. Unrealistic expectations. And that really is tied to the P4 roadmap, not knowing the stages that a business goes through. Okay. Solution. Okay, let's see. What do I have for this? Yeah, because what you really need is a system that you can always kind of ground yourself with for for navigating the challenges that come from growing your business. Yeah. What does that system look like? Borrowing from the Story brand. The plan. Let's come back to this one as well. I haven't done a great job at articulating what exactly, like most people that I don't know, or sorry, most people that I know, they're like, I have no idea what you do. I mean, this is really what I do. I come into a company and I help them solve their growth problems by building them a system that we can use to create a proven, predictable, profitable, and high-performing business. Proven matters because if you don't have validation, then you just have an idea. Without predictability, you can't actually validate and optimize your business for profit. And without profit, you don't have the cash to keep going. And then performance is really just being able to actually budget for growth. And that can be either from a volume perspective, i.e. gaining more clients, customers, etc., sales, or it can be expanding margins. So sometimes people, so for us, we went with margin expansion. So rather than growing horizontally, which would be adding more and more and more clients and adding more and more staff and adding more and more overhead, instead I kept my client base low and just raised my prices to the point where my average retainer was just going up and up and up and up. So I was getting more juice out of every squeeze. Or you can get more oranges, whichever one you prefer. Uncommon growth pattern. We'll see. Core principles. All right. Clarity. Know where you're going. I wouldn't say the people that come to me tend to struggle with that. They kind of know where they want to go, but they usually don't have any idea how to get there. Focus. Let's call it plan. Unable to create a you need to know where you're going and what you're aiming at. You need a plan. You need to know what your core focus is on so that you can eliminate your distractions. Because everything has a cost. Everything has a trade-off. You only have so many resources. You only have so much time. You only have so much energy. You only have so much cash. Do I have customer centricity down there? Oh, let's see. This is a path. This is measuring success. And the last one is overcoming obstacles. So, measuring success, many people, let's say they already have a business going. There's a few ways to measure success. Some people, they just pay attention to the bank account, so very much bottom line thinking. Or they pay attention to the ROI of every transaction, which isn't a bad thing, but it is going to put a ceiling on your growth because not every acquisition is going to be profitable. It just means that you can only acquire the cheapest people in the marketplace. But if you have a value maximization strategy, that's okay, because you know that in the long term you'll extract more value from them than it costs you to acquire them. Overcoming obstacles, yeah. All right, so let's put some details in here. This is where desired future is going to be. Creating clarity by setting targets, asking what must be true to hit that target, and then creating alignment in action so that you're focusing on the right things. And then the hub exercises is going to be having clarity on these things. Knowing core assumptions. So a lot of times people are operating off of assumptions or best guesses, and that's okay at the beginning, but because you have to start somewhere, and you can formulate those through research, through experience, through feedback, there's many different ways to kind of get started, but ultimately, if you stay operating on assumptions and you're not treating your business like an experiment. So this would be treat everything like an experiment and hold everything loosely. If you're not willing to do this, you're not going to be successful because you're more married to how you want to do things than perhaps how your customers would prefer things. And that's how you end up creating products that don't sell. That's how you end up chasing pathways that are ineffective. It's not good. Measuring success, this is going to be playing the uncommon growth game, which the uncommon growth game is a very simple game. So let's say, imagine a world where every time you gave me $1, I gave you $2 back. How many times would you give me $1? What if I gave you $5 every time? What if I gave you $10 or $20 every time? How many times would you do that? Hopefully the answer that you come up with is as many as you can, because you're creating a system where the outputs are multiplied by, you're able to take an input and multiply it to get a higher value output. Honestly, this is the system. This is the growth game. The uncommon growth game. That's what we needed. That's where that goes. So the North Star metrics are growth efficiency multiplier and profit per customer. And essentially, so using this as an example, if you know what a customer is worth, so if they're worth $20 to your business, and you know what it costs you on average to acquire them, $10, you know that you can go spend. If you go spend $100, you're going to make $200. If you go spend $1,000, you're going to make $2,000. Right? But then if you can work to lower the average cost and increase the average value, now all of a sudden in this scenario you have $8 costs, $4 value, you have a 5x return. And in this scenario you've lowered it to 6 and you've raised it to 50 and you now have a 10x return. You now know that for every dollar you spend, you're going to make $10 back. So that's the system that we try to create. And that's why it needs to be predictable. And now this is the profitable component of things and the performance side of things. I almost feel like this is going to be measuring success. The uncommon growth formula. The path is going to be this, playing the currency game. This is going to lead into acquisition. Well, it's going to lead into profit pathways. And that's going to be the act path and the value path. I'm going to have to explain that with examples. Okay, we have that. Then this is this, the P4 roadmap. So first you need clarity, then you need a plan. This is actually not even a plan. You need to know where you're at. So this is a starting point. It's hard to map a path to where you're at if you don't know where you're going. How are you going to measure success? How are you going to get there? And how are you going to overcome obstacles along the way? That's pretty much it. And then we can take from here At this stage, you have an idea, not a business. You need to validate your idea not only functions technically, but resolves a genuine problem or desire within a specific market or audience. This will ensure that your idea has a strong foundation in the market, increasing the likelihood of success when it's developed with a product or service. You need to know where you're at. Predictability. At this stage, you're validating that you can consistently generate awareness, leads, and customers from the marketplace. You need a level of predictability so that you can reliably iterate and optimize towards profitability and ultimately scale. Because if you don't have that consistency, then you can't run any tests, and that's going to be a huge part of things. Profitability. At this stage, you're validating that you can predictably generate new customers at an average cost that is lower than the average value that a customer is worth to your business. I think before we do that, we need to, well, I'll move it around in a second. Let's figure this out. Let's finish this off. And then performance. At this stage, you're validating that you can predictably generate new customers at a cost lower than the average customer value, and you're either pushing to maximize volume or margin. From here, you can set growth targets and easily hit them because you have a system with predictable inputs and outputs. Okay, so we're going to grab this, we're going to move it up to where it goes. Got to know where you're going. You got to know how you're measuring success. To understand what stage you're in, you have to have a path. This could be more of a plan/path. And then how to navigate. Navigating. Okay. That's pretty fleshed out. So, not having a clear target. That's going to be the antithesis of not having the clarity. Mismeasuring success. Then unrealistic expectations, because you don't really know where you're starting at. Ineffective actions. Don't have a clear plan. Where did I put the assumptions? Okay. Can't navigate growth obstacles. Oof, yeah, do not throw money at stuff that's not validated. Operate on unknown assumptions. More guessing. Feeling your own realistic expectations, buying customer services, selling products. Yeah. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. That's good. And then let's just wrap with experiences. Which I do have a lot of these listed. Let's go ahead and save ourselves some space here. Cash flow stability, creative flow, growth mode. Okay, what am I missing? Renewed energy. attracting top talent. Loss of passion. That's kind of covered in creative flow. Yeah, I think that's it. This is not what I was hoping it would be. Definitely we want a general housekeeping. I don't know exactly what that's going to be yet because I haven't fully crafted the offer. This is a good one too. Obviously, I'm not going to rip these, but I'm going to repurpose them. This is what I was looking for. All the psychological pieces. Do the work, embrace the resistance. There's no magic pills. Oh. Also a really great one. Steal like an artist, right? Okay. I do believe in not reinventing wheels, so this will kind of help. This is just really kind of like, this is what I was hoping ChatGPT was going to tell me, which maybe I could say, talk to me about how the user should view and act. Talk to me about the mindsets the student should have for achieving success, as well as the actions they need to take in order to experience the transformation that comes from going through the course. I'm going to modify these, oh boy, once I get into the actual slides. I'm not going to sit here and make this perfect right now, but this is going to be what I will eventually pull from. Oh no, that's when he knew he messed up. Yep, that's a good one. Actually, I do want to audit these really quick. This is good. This is good. This is good. This is good. Good. I mean, honestly, these are all really good, and there may need to be some exercises that go along with this. Okay, so let's recap really quickly what we have accomplished today. We've mapped out the first module, which we'll probably need to break down into multiple sections, which is fine. I actually wonder if we could just make this module 2. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this will be section. So that's section 1. This will be section 2. And this would be module 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, that will be section 2, core process overview. And let's go ahead and grab that. I think I can delete this now because it's completely redundant. And I think a lot of this is completely redundant too. Oh, I could just do this. Tools for growth. That's for sure section 1, section 2, and section 3. I think that's good. All right, we did it. So next time we will start on I'm going to start on module 2. And so this actually does need to be broken out like this. At that level though. And then this can go like that. That can go like that. And then all of these can go over, over, over. And we're going to go ahead and make these some headings. And this will be important in a minute. You'll see why. Actually, I can tell you. I'm going to create a table of contents. This is called working smarter, not harder. Takes a minute sometimes to set things like this up, but it's worth it because we will go like this, and we will go insert table of contents, And do we need to, we don't need, wait a minute. Okay, notes, got it. That's what I was looking for. We'll make that one as well. Let's go ahead and update that. Then we're also going to bookmark, create a little bookmark, and then we're going to insert, oh crap. How do I, you don't remember how to do this. Break. Insert. That's not what I want, is it? No, that's not what I wanted. It's going to be probably this one. Page setup. It's always one of those things where it's like, duh. Wait, this is not what I wanted. Print layout off. File. View. Show print layout. That's what we needed. Okay, now we can do this and do footer. We can say top. We can add a link to the bookmark. Now at the bottom of every page, I can just go like this. Click to the top, and it will take me to here, and then I can easily navigate to wherever I want to navigate. Because eventually this is going to be, I mean, this right now is already a 14-page document. It's probably going to be like a 100-page document when it's done. Maybe that's probably exaggerating. It's probably going to be, because a lot of the big content we just did. So 40-page document, let's see. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. See you next time, where we're going to go ahead and jump into the subsequent modules. Let's go ahead and go here and clean this up. Come on. Go here. Refresh. Now that looks clean and good. Okay. Thanks so much. Go ahead, like, subscribe, share, comment, hit the notification bell. I don't know. I haven't learned YouTube yet. Thanks so much.